welcome. This is Brian Bennett and Vinishant from Cybersecurity Today for our first video of the season. Today we are going to discuss about a hot topic in the cybersecurity world, that is cyber warfare. And after that we are going to jump into an example with details of a cyber warfare incident that changed the way we look cyber warfare altogether. Without any further delay, let's jump into the concept. First of all, we'll discuss what is cyber warfare. Cyber warfare is computer or network-based conflict involving politically motivated attacks by a nation state on another nation state. In these type of attacks, nation state actors attempt to disrupt the activities of organizations or nation states, especially for strategic or military purposes and cyber espionage. Cyber warfare can take many forms: viruses, computer worms, and malware that can take down water supplies, transportation systems, power grids, critical infrastructure, and military systems. Denial of service attacks that we all know. For example, cybersecurity events that occur when attackers take action that prevents legitimate user from accessing targeted computers, systems, devices, or other network resources. Hacking and theft of critical from institutions, governments, and businesses. Ransomware that holds computer systems hostage until the victims pay ransom. Let's look into some of the examples of cyber warfare that history have already seen. Olympic Games, Ukrainian power grid, Kosovo War, Russia-Georgia War, Operation Cast Lead, the Tulip Revolution, the Jasmine Revolution, DUQU 1.0 and 2.0, the Eastern Railway website defacement, the Anthem attack, Russian hackers tracking Ukrainian artillery, Sony Corp's Hollywood studio, and finally attack on Estonian government. Okay, today the attack we are going to look into is attack on Estonian government. This is one of the major attack in the history of mankind when it comes to cyber warfare. So let's jump into it straight away. When you consider countries in the world, it might be the target of a massive attack. Probably Estonia is not high on the list. Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, is one of the most beautiful and best cities in Northern Europe with medieval age architectures. This country was ruled by Danish, Nazis, and Russia. And also, this country is bounded by Russia on the one side, Latvia on the other side, and the Baltic Sea on the other two sides. The relationship between Estonia and Russia is always in a middle ground.
Despite its medieval architecture, what's behind these old stone walls is an infrastructure that's far ahead of most of the Western world. Estonia has become one of the most wired societies on Earth.
It was our key to rapid development.
The lives of everyday Estonians depend on the internet. From e-banking, e-commerce, e-schools, e-ID cards to e-voting. More than 3/4 of Estonians file their tax returns on the internet. Then suddenly one day last May, that wired world went dark. On May 9th at midnight Moscow time, millions of signals sent from a swarm of network computers hijacked from around the world in countries as far away as China, Vietnam, Malaysia, Egypt, and here in the United States suddenly launched a cyber attack aimed to knock down the entire country.
Would you believe if I say the reason for those all attacks in Estonia was a memorial statue? Yes, that is the actual truth. In 2007, Estonian government was getting ready to move a bronze statue of a soldier that was installed previously during the USSR regime. This did
Decided to move the statue. Well, it was not exactly welcome news in the Russian community.
Люди, слушайте меня, блядь, вашу! Нам здесь надо долго простоять!
For 2 days and nights last April, young Russians high on nationalism took to the streets of Tallinn, destroying property and defying police. More than 800 protesters were arrested.
Over the course of several days, the botnets hit banks, broadcasters, police, and other national government. The parliament and the ministries' networks were overwhelmed. Government communications networks were knocked down. The national emergency number buckled. The country's internet infrastructure was being hit hard with unrelenting traffic that was orders of magnitudes larger than what Estonian networks were capable of handling. This is like the period of the attack was 2007, April and May. What actually happened was the sites were defaced with political agendas, political posts, and it was too bad for the image of the country. And even more, at the same time, Russians were celebrating about it on their social medias and everywhere, so it took a toll on these people. Pinpointing and crediting a state-level cyber attack is a difficult task that can easily rise to near impossible, although there was no proof of origin of the attack found immediately due to the obscure nature of the attack. A year later, a Russian individual living in Estonia was charged of this attack. But let's look at the interview given by the president of Estonia at that time regarding this particular incident.
Is there any doubt in your mind that it came from Russia?
There's no proof exactly where it can come from because computers can be hijacked from all over the place. But if it's timed almost to the hour as to certain political events in your country, it makes you think it's probably not Nepal that's doing it. I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind where it came from, especially since there have been some people who in the Russian cyberspace have boasted about being involved in this. It's beyond a reasonable doubt.
Now let's look at the views of some of the major pioneers in the country of Estonia with regard to IT and networking.
Linar Vik is Estonia's internet pioneer and a former advisor to the government.
The most important is that leaders of Estonia, but also other countries, realize that cyber threat is a real threat. It impacts not something in the internet, bits and zeros. It's not computers which fight to each other. It's an issue of your regular daily life around you.
Let's listen to the interview of Cyber Security Operations Center Computer Emergency Readiness Team of Estonian government.
It's pretty much clear that we can call it everybody in Estonian internet is hit. Private sector, TV channels, newspapers, banking sector, different IT companies, name it. Public sector, parliament, government, prime minister, president, ministry 1, ministry 2, so on.
Let's see the views of Dean Turner, Director of Global Intelligence for Symantec Corporation.
Criminals have taken the time now to know that, well, this thing called the internet, the web provides them with high levels of anonymity. It's decentralized, it's globalized. You could be located in Timbuktu, targeting a company located in the United States, going through a server that's located in France.
Let's Here the lessons learned from the president of Estonia.
Meanwhile, in Estonia, the government is looking to write new laws to punish cyber criminals. The issue of cybersecurity is something President Ilves doesn't take lightly.
If in the past people were connected by sea lanes and trade routes, then today we are ever more connected by the internet.
Let's talk about cybersecurity. How does cybersecurity figure into your national defense?
Well, since last April, a lot more, since we came under massive cyber attacks. Basically what happened was that many of our computer systems were shut down by attacks from outside Estonia. It's not unique, it's happened before, but never on a scale like this. Just as the U.S. Defense Department's computers have been attacked, and as it turns out, several ministries have come under computer attack, we now had it on a broader scale. But the real issue is legal. We need to really get a firm and strong set of laws.
Which we do not now have.
We do not have this at this point. And that's something that I think we can undertake together in NATO, in the European Union, and something I discussed at length with President Bush in the beginning of this summer, and with a number of people and leaders in the European Union. And I think there is growing consensus now that this is a serious issue.
Now, let's see what are the lessons we learned through this particular cyber warfare incident. In response to such attacks, NATO conducted an internal assessment of their cybersecurity and infrastructure defenses. The assessment resulted in a report issued to the Allied Defense Minister in October 2007. It further developed into the creation of cyber defense policy and the creation of the NATO Cooperative Cyber Defense Center of Excellence in May 2008. Due to the attacks, the Tallinn Manual on the international law applicable to cyber warfare was also developed. This report outlined international laws which are considered applicable to the cyber realm. Let's consider this particular attack on Estonian government as the major incident in the history of cybersecurity. After this incident only, there were many proposals, many bills were taken down and proposed to protect the cyber realm. And finally, I would like to finish off our session with a quote. Cybersecurity is not a concern to be addressed, but a lifestyle to be adopted. Hope you guys would have enjoyed the session. And signing off from you is Brian Bennett and Vinishant from Cybersecurity Today. Thank you. See you later, guys.